Welcome to Sparks in the Straits 5782. The Gemara in Bava Basra explains to us what was happening in Am Yisrael post-Chorban. The Gemara explains that there was a large movement towards asceticism, refraining from the pleasurable aspects of the world, because how could we possibly enjoy when we no longer have a Beis HaMikdash? Rabbi Yoshua approaches a group of ascetics and says to them, "Why are you not eating meat?" And they say, "How could we eat meat when there is no longer the bringing of the karbanos?" He says to them, "Why are you refraining from wine?" And they say, "How can we drink wine when there is no longer the pouring of the wine on the mizbeach?" He says to them, with this mindset, "Are you going to refrain from eating bread as well, because we are no longer bringing the karban mincha?" And they say, "Yes, we'll refrain from eating bread." And he says to them, "Are you going to refrain from eating fruit, because we are no longer bringing the bikurim?" "Yes, we will refrain from eating fruit." Finally, he says to them, "Are you going to refrain from drinking water because there is no longer the Nisa Chamayim?" And they say, "We can't." They stop at this point. Rabbi Yoshua says to them, instead of living this life of complete asceticism, refraining from anything that we used to engage with in the Mikdash, we need to approach in the way of Chazal. Chazal tell us that anything we do, we must leave off a tiny bit, Zecher l'Chorban. So if you are building a home, you must leave one square unpainted, Zecher l'Chorban. If you are preparing a meal, leave out one small component, Zecher l'Chorban. At a wedding, when there is this time of ultimate simcha, we must put ashes on the chassan's head, Zecher l'Chorban. That in everything we do, there must be a taste of the destruction to remind us that we are not living in the way that we are meant to live. However, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai develops a different approach. Post-Chorban, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai develops 9 takanot that are meant to help us to live in a way that we would be prepared for the immediate arrival of Mashiach and the rebuilding of the Mikdash. For example, one of the takanot is that the Kohanim must not wear shoes when they go up to give Berachas Kohanim, because in the Mikdash, the Kohanim did not wear shoes when they performed the Avodah, and he would not want that Mehira Yibana HaMikdash, that very soon the Beis HaMikdash will return and the Kohanim may be confused. He says the Kohanim may not drink wine because Mehira Yibana HaMikdash, the Beis HaMikdash is going to be rebuilt so soon, and we would not want an inordinate amount of time to delay the performing of the Avodah. So if perhaps the Kohanim had drunk wine, they would not be able to perform the Avodah for a set amount of time, and that would be too much of a delay. Too much of a delay. How long does it take for alcohol to wear off enough for them to perform the Avodah? An hour? 2 hours? Let's say 24 hours. We're meant to live our life thinking that every hour Mashiach is going to come. Is that really any more healthy than living the life of the ascetics? Isn't that setting ourselves up for a lifetime of failure? Rav Charlap, a Talmud of Rav Kook, gives a beautiful answer to this question. Rav Charlap states, "The yearning for salvation isn't only about the future, but also in the present, to scout each hour that the redemption can come." Rav Charlap is explaining that our role is to live our lives with each moment focused on the Geula, not on the ultimate Geula, because then every moment would be a failure. If our only goal is reaching the ultimate Geula, we are constantly going to be disappointed. But he said if we look at every single moment as an opportunity to elevate that moment, to redeem that moment, to make that moment lived in a way that we want to live in the time of Geula, then each moment is a mini Geula. If we aim to elevate every moment in time, we are living a life focused on Geula that will ultimately help us to bring the Geula. That Mehira Yibana HaMikdash, every moment we have conscious in our minds that the Geula can come in that moment. But not just the ultimate Geula, the Geula of that moment alone. Emirtz Hashem, this year may we celebrate the ultimate Geula. But until then, may we seize the opportunity to elevate each and every moment.